Hello everyone, this is my 20th video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kayla. I am a body piercer of 10 years and this is where I post facts and information about body piercing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will definitely reach out to you. So today is going to be a story time video. 10 years is a long time in body piercing. I get a lot of questions in the studio and I would say my top 3 questions are: do you pierce yourself? Does it hurt? And what's the weirdest thing you've ever pierced? So I'm going to start with that last one. Maybe I'll do the 2 others in another video. Weirdest piercing that I've ever done. So when I get asked this question, I always say, what do you think is weird? Because I've pierced so many different things. I am open to piercing anything pretty much, as long as the anatomy is adequate and it's a reasonable piercing. I get a lot of dumb questions like, can you pierce my butt cheeks together like Steve-O on? No, it's not possible. I mean, it is possible, but it's not a reasonable piercing. I could do it, but I have not done that. And I've told people that I can do it, and they're not willing to get it done, so it doesn't matter anyways. So something outside of the traditional earlobe piercings can seem really weird to some people. When I was first piercing, like 2009, 2010, the Daith, Conch, Snug, and Anti-Tragus, which the Snug and Anti-Tragus are still pretty rare, but all 4 of those were super rare. So if anybody walking around in that like day and age had those piercings, then it was really different. Oh, the Rook is also included in that. So all like pretty much inner ear piercings were really weird, and if you had one, then people would be like, whoa, that's so weird, why would you do that? Also, surface piercings were getting more popular, so this was like right before dermals got really popular as well. But we did a lot of back of the neck piercings, the collarbones, surface bars on the collarbones, and a lot of people thought that was super weird. I have also done a surface bar under a belly button piercing right on the stomach. When dermals got really popular, a lot of people thought that was really weird, and some people today still think it's really strange because it's a single point piercing. There's no front and back to that one. Like, how does it stay in? That's so interesting. I've done dermals in a lot of different places. I have the most interesting dermal one that I've done is on the lip as a faux Monroe piercing. That was really interesting and very difficult to get in because the skin there is so loose. But the woman requested, or even she just asked if it was possible, and if it was possible, then she would, you know, go ahead and do that piercing because she didn't want to have any teeth damage. So I went ahead and we attempted it. It was successful, and I never saw her again, so I never got a picture. But it looked pretty cool, and I hope that it lasted on her because that was a really interesting and unique piercing. I have done dermals down the back of the neck, towards this, you know, down the spine a little bit. I think we did about 5 of them, and they came out pretty cool. We did them in varying not shapes, but varying sizes, so smaller to larger. I've done back dimples with dermals in them. And if you follow my Instagram, I did a lower leg dermal. Unfortunately, that lady called back like 2 weeks later and said that it had come out and that she wanted to get the other leg done instead, but she hasn't come in yet, so that's pretty weird. Okay, so in the beginning of body piercing, I guess in the United States, I would say, because piercings have been going on for forever, but in the body piercing world in the United States, it all started heavily in genital piercings. People would pierce themselves below the neck, places where it wasn't seen. kind of similar to tattooing. A lot of people do tattoos where, you know, you can easily hide your tattoos, but these are for piercings. So I have done tons, in the 10 years that I've been piercing, I've done tons of genital piercings. And you'd be surprised at how many genital piercings there are possible. Like, you know, your little ear, there's a lot of possibility with the small ear. There's a lot of possibility with genital piercings. So I've done quite a few different ones, and this is probably what you guys are all curious about. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Why would somebody get their genital pierced? But you'd be surprised at how many people actually have below the neck piercings, and you would never suspect. I've had a few clients do like projects, like that sounds kind of weird, but genital projects. Like they have a vision in their mind of what they want their piercings to look like, and they will come back in sessions and get a couple things done and let it heal and get a few more things done, just like anybody with projects for their ears. So I've had 3 clients that I remember pretty clearly, very unique ideas of what they wanted to do. The first one is nipple piercings. This guy had a idea in his mind of what he wanted his nipple jewelry to look like. So we pierced his nipples and we put straight barbells in until they healed. And once they were healed, he wanted hoops, captive hoops. So we put captive hoops in there, and he would come back like every couple of months asking for bigger hoops. Not as far as gauge, but diameter. So like he would have huge hoops going around. I had to start special ordering them because people don't carry hoops this size, but I think we had an 1.25 inch diameter captive ring. I have a couple, I don't have them now, but maybe I'll show you someday. That was pretty interesting. So the second guy, he was like this chubby old guy. He kind of reminded me of Santa Claus. He was like, he didn't have a beard or anything, but he was super nice, and he is so interesting to meet people in person. And then when we start doing piercings, you're surprised at what they have, because you would never expect him to have genital piercings. So he had come in already having his lorum pierced and stretched. I think it was a 0 gauge. You guys can Google this. I'm not going to show you images here because I 100% guarantee that it violates YouTube's terms of service. So he had that pierced and stretched to a 0 gauge, and then he wanted his PA pierced, which we did, and he came back I would say like a month or 2 later, and we did the sides of his scrotum, like up higher, and that was super cool. I'd never done something like that before, and I wish I had gotten pictures of it because it was awesome. And I don't know if that makes me weird or anything. Maybe I'm the weird one. I'm the weird piercing. But I think that was super cool to get a chance to do. So if you guys think that's weird and that's pretty weird, I think it's pretty cool. So the third guy, he was pretty interesting. He would call me all the time asking if I was available, and he had this crazy project in mind of doing frenum ladders on the top and 2 sides of his shaft. So he wanted, I think it was 3 and 3 and 3 on each side. So we started out, maybe it was the bottom and the 2 sides, something like that. Anyways, we started with either the top or the bottom, I forget which one it was, and we did the 3 and we let that heal, and then it came back and we decided to do I think 1 or 2 on each side, so that's 4 total. And I think he was having problems with it, so he ended up taking those out and we did something else. But eventually I believe we got at least 2 successful, 3 on top, and it was good. He was healed, and then he called me one day and said that he had got arrested and went to jail and had to take them out. So he wanted to come in and put them back in. And on top of that, he wanted to stretch them to a 10 gauge needle, or maybe it was an 8 gauge, because the smallest needle I have is 10 gauge, or largest needle I have is 10 gauge. Anyways, that was a project. And this is kind of a rambly video, so I'm gonna cut it right here and say if that's what you find weird, then that's what I've done, and those are the weirdest piercings I have done. I have also done female genital piercings. I feel like those aren't as weird to most people, but yes, I have done those as well. Anyways, I think that's it. I can't really think of anything that really tops those three guys. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, or you just want to talk about what's going on there, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more interesting and weird and crazy piercing things. I will see you next time. Bye.